Hi there. So, as an NF idealist type, or in my case, more specifically, an INFJ, I've always been very intrigued with fairy tales and all the symbolism and archetypes and so on that's included in them. And so I tried to find one fairy tale for each MBTI type, which kind of embodies or describes the given type. Um, Sometimes this might be because of the overall storyline, and sometimes I chose a fairy tale because of a certain character that resembled the given type. So I hope you enjoy my list. And so, as an INFJ myself, of course, I was very interested in finding a fairy tale that kind of sums up our type. And the one I chose is The Little Mermaid because actually it is a story about ego death. That's how I'd describe it. And I think, as I said in another video, many INFJs are very spiritually inclined and evolved beings and light workers, and so we know what it's like to go through a process like that, where you maybe pour your love in the wrong direction and have to transcend a level of personal relationships, personal relationship based love and romanticism to reach a higher state of universal unconditional love, like the mermaid does in the end when she cannot be with her prince. Because, yeah, instead of just killing him and returning to her family, she decides to, or gets the chance to gain a human soul by doing 300 years of good deeds. And I thought that's kind of an INFJ thing. So, let's move on to the INFP, shall we? For the INFP, I chose the fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen called The Snow Queen. And here I have to say the main reason is why I chose this one is the main character. If I remembered correctly, she's a girl named Gerda, at least in the version I know. And why it seems INFP-ish to me is because it's about really unwavering self-belief and determination to find her lost childhood friend and love again, and free him from the Snow Queen's palace and from his own the ice inside of him that has taken over his mind. And I think as INFPs are emotional healers and very comforting and also very really have a lot of faith and belief. Yeah, that seems like Gerda to me. So the next one is the ENFJ. And I don't really know how well known some of those fairy tales on my list are, in countries other than Germany, where they originate from. I mean, I think even here in Germany, a lot of people know only, some of the most popular fairy tales that were written down by the Grimm brothers around 200 years ago, I think. So But if you don't know the fairy tale yet, you can of course look it up online and maybe you find something you like. So, to get back to the topic, the one I chose for the ENFJ is called The Water of Life. And without wanting to give too much away of the story, it actually just goes to show how a little humanism and, kindness can get you along, get you far in life, and is rewarded by destiny somehow. Next up is the ENFP, and for them it's an Andersen fairy tale again called Thumbelina. And whether you're familiar with it or not, it's about a very tiny girl with a very big heart and strong will. And she gets into a lot of adventures, all kinds of also troublesome adventures, but she's very resilient, and when she gets in trouble, she always finds a way out and keeps on, doesn't let herself be, tied down in the wrong place or something, but keeps on moving through life while still remaining her big heart. And so I thought that's an ENFP-ish story. Let's move on to the anti-types, and let's start with the INTJ. And the fairy tale I chose for the INTJs is Rumpelstiltskin. Why? Because okay, I'm going to be a little bit mean here, but I think probably inside of every INTJ there is this kind of little mean creature who likes to, play tricks on people and, has some kind of dark schemes going on and likes to remain hidden in the background while playing their tricks. For the INTP, I chose the brave little tailor to describe them, because it's about a smart little guy who just uses his mental strengths and, his logic to win in life, basically. Enough said, right? Let's move on to the ENTP, and of course, the ENTP fairy tale also had to be one where that's about, using your mental superiority to get what you want in life, like kind of all the tales. So I chose Puss in Boots for the ENTP because of the main character who's very cunning and charming, but also very clever one, as you know. That's it for the ENTP. For the ENTJ, I chose another fairy tale that's probably not so well known. It's called The Devil and His Grandmother. And it's about, I think, 3 soldiers kind of defeating the devil by solving a riddle with the help of his grandmother. And also they get to keep a whip that is able to magically create money forever. And I thought that's a very ENTJ-ish thing. So that was the first half of my MBTI as fairy tales series. With all the N types. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, see you soon, hopefully. Bye.